Hello, hello, hello. So we continue with Torah Zayin, the second Chelek of Likutey Moharan. We are holding by Seif Yud Gimel. Says the Rebbe as follows: Al ken k'shema'aynim. I said, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think we already went through in Gimel, but let's just go over it. Al ken k'shema'aynim medabrim me'ez lechidush shechidush hachochem shebador. Whenever it is that people look into and study and talk of a chidush that the sage of the generation has originated. The one who learned it, the one who studies it, gets an influx of Europe. Why? Because when you repeat that chidush, that reawakens the sea of wisdom, which is the Chokhmah, the Chacham originates and is Mechadish. Shemisham Kabel Sfir Samachos Parnasa. We said this is the Adam and Chokhmah receive it from the Remozim, from the Makifin, go to Yam Chokhmah, and from there, it trickles down all the way to the Chokhmah. The Chokhmah is where it's distributed to every person according to his needs. Everybody needs money. At Hashem, now is a good time. At Hashem, Ayin Chidush of Rabbeinu, so have Yira, will have money with Hashem, whoever needs it. This it comes into the Malchus, to bring about the Parnasa. Ikar Yira, because Ikar Yira is where it is Fias Malchus. This Malchus is that that's the police department. That's the enforcer. That's the Malchus has, Mitzad Echad has Malchus. Is the dinim is in the Malchus. And also the tzedakah is in the Malchus. Tzedek is in the Malchus and tzedakah is in the Malchus. Tzedek is when people are not, the way they should be. So there's no generosity here. Tzedek is just justice, and justice needs to be administered. And sometimes, if it wasn't for the fear of Malchus, of authority, one person would swallow up his fellow person, says Chazal. That's why a person should always daven Shlomish Malchus. Because the minute there's chaos in Malchus, then, people go haywire. It's a Kayir, so the Mincha, they make, this is why the main Yira is in the Sphere of Malchus. The Malchus is the source of Yira. The dinim, the judgments, what should be done and how should be done, they originate in the Bina, in the Sphere of Bina. But this is basically the way the judgment is supposed to be. It's not Lemaisa. It's not the year. It's not the Osses Adin Lapel. This happens in the Malchus. The Malchus is the Kora Yira. As Chazal said, Malchus, that's what Chazal said. And when a person learns the Chiddush of the Chacham, the Yamachochma awakens, the Malchus shows up with the Yira. The year of the Chacham is embedded in his Chiddush. Everything depends on Yira. As we learned before, this is every person is supposed to speak to other people about Yerushalayim, about the Tachlis, we carve them. The Rabbi said that you have to have Yira because If you have yira, then your words are being heard. The chacham has to read yira, so that his words will listen to him. But as we say, it's not, a person can say, if he doesn't have yira, his words come out, and people hear them, but then it passes away. It goes in one and it goes out the other. Why? Because the one who said the chidushin, he himself doesn't have yira. And since he doesn't have yira, that causes the chidushin, they don't have a staying power. When you repeat the chidush, Malchus comes. The Malchus comes to receive parnosa from the Yam Chochma, the Yadayim Chochma. Malchus here. That's why when you learn the Chiddush, the Yira of the Chacham reawakens. We say that two things happen. We say that when we learn the Chacham of the Chacham, that brings about the Rotzon, because everything originates from the Rotzon. The Yadayim Yam Chochma receives from the Makifim. The Makifim is Rotzon comes down. Rotzon comes down, it comes to the Malchus. Malchus is the Moitzil Apol, that's the collection agency. So over there, there's Parnasa, and then there's Yira. So you get Rotzon and you get Yira.
How can I be connected to sex if I thought Malchus?
Because the Rebbe says that he said, "Enecho lecha yisaberu, but anotenu ochma be'itoy." The entrance of the Makifin, which is the itoy. Ka'et yamer lakom me'apol kel. The et itoy. This is the time when the Makifin come in. So when you have bitoch enecho lecha yisaberu, anotenu ochlam the parnasa, the yira, the rotzon, be'itoy. This is when Makifin come in. That's the interface. That's the Yadayim Yam Chocham brings the light or upon from the Makifim in. This is the Rotzon come in. That's why when a person, eats properly, he has tremendous kisufim, he has tremendous Rotzon to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He has Yira and Rotzon, both at the same time. Rotzon is because that's the original driving force of everything. Rotzon Hashem, which is in the Makifim. And when it comes into the Chochma brings into the Malchus brings the Yirat. So when you're actually eating the Parnasa that comes through this chain, you're getting the Ratzon from there, the volition, the will. It awakens if you eat properly. It awakens the will. And it awakens the Yirat of the Chacham. Because both are being loaded in to the ashpa during the process. So when you eat properly, or you ma'ayin b'chidush of the chacham, the rotzon and the yira are awakening. Now we're going to see. The Rebbe says we learned, that there is every person has to be to apply and to generate children and Talmidim, Ben and Talmid. And we said that each one needs to have a little bit of perspective of the other. The son, he has Yira a little bit, but basically he has familiarity because he sees his father, in slippers. Talmid doesn't see that. Doesn't see it's just the Rebbe comes, with a. So he has a perspective of Yira. The Talmud has the perspective of familiarity. So the son doesn't see the greatness of his father. What he does, he sees that he doesn't know anything yet. Which means it's a much greater closeness than the Talmud. Because you realize that you don't know anything yet, you haven't started yet. Since this is the eyes are closed, the Pchinas Sheina, as we said before. The Talmud, on the other hand, Talmud has things already in his kelim. He has Yira from the Chacham, which means that he has a saga of Melok Haaretz Kavoidei. Because Baruch Hu fills the earth. He sees it. You go to a Chacham and you're not that close to him. You're not his son. You have great Yira from him. Okay, so you can see, wow, there's somebody. But if somebody sees his father every single day, he knows that he hasn't even started anything yet. He doesn't see anything. Pchinas Sheino. The Talmud is Pchinas being awake. You see, I'll repeat it. The saga of the son is greater because he doesn't see anything. That's greater? Why is it greater? Wouldn't it be greater if you saw? Means that what you have already you know, but you see already that you don't know anything yet. It means that you have a saga of closed eyes, which is called euphemistically Sheino. Sheino is a remez for that. Sleep is the remez for that. Because what do? You sleep, you are with your eyes closed. It's a saga of mouth. You're looking at infinity. When you look at infinity, you don't have any saga. It's called Pchinas Sheino. On the other hand, Talmud, wow, he sees the Rabbi, he's Melok Haaretz Kavoidei, he has a saga. This is called being awake, because you're seeing. Because when you're awake, what does it mean you're awake? Your eyes are open. You see. It's a little like oxymoron. It's like if you're close to Pchinas Talmud, your saga is so great that you're massing, you don't know anything yet. This is called sleep. On the other hand, the Talmud, which is a lower saga, he sees Melok Haaretz Kavoidei, called being awake. Shouldn't be like awake should be the Mech and the Gadlus and the sleep and the Katnas. It's true, but not in this particular instant. Now the Rebbe is going to use euphemistically as a remez. Pchinas hasaga of ma is you realize that you haven't even started. You're asleep. Until now, you thought, "Wow, I really got the entire world in my back pocket." Now that you went up to such a high madrega, you realize you haven't started yet. Like your saga of until now, it's like you were totally asleep. We said we gave the mashal of a Talmud that get into Kita Aleph. So they test him. He says, "What do you know?" He says, "I know everything." He knows Aleph base. He knows a little. Also the comets and Pasach and is that I know everything. Just a little information, I'll be fine. So they get him into school. And once he gets into school, let's say this Talmud has bad friends and he doesn't learn. He's just having fun all day. And then comes to 8th grade and he realizes he has to go to yeshiva, or to go to high school, whatever it is, in your particular case. And he realizes he doesn't know anything. He was just having fun. What do you mean you don't know anything? Everybody else, all the other Talmidim that go into yeshiva, they know Mishnayos, they know Gemara. Gemara. They know a little about to learn, whatever it is, they have it. But this particular student, realizes he goes to the Rosh Yeshiva and it says, "Listen, I know that I don't know anything." Because I just had a good time until now while everybody was studying. But I promise you that I will put my everything into it and I will learn, I'll get a tutor, we'll do everything. So you see this Talmud, what do you mean you don't know anything? When you came to Kita Aleph, you said you know everything. Yeah, but when you are in Kita Ches, in 8th grade, you realize that knowing Aleph base doesn't mean knowing anything. Now you realize that you need to be able to learn Mishnayos. You need to learn Gemara. You don't have a clue how to do it. So the asog of I know everything because I know Aleph base is considered by you as like being asleep. You thought you knew everything, but you were sleeping, man. You were dreaming that you know everything. Now, this is a euphemistic. You're saying there's a penis sheno. Why? Because I haven't done anything yet. Well, however, the Talmud that learned throughout, he knows Gemara, knows Mishnah, whatever it is ready. Okay, he doesn't realize. He thinks he knows. Now he gets into yeshiva. He thinks he knows. Like the other one thought, Kita Aleph, he thought he knew. Now this one thinks he knows. He knows. He doesn't know. He knows Mishnah. Now this means he's awake. It takes time. It takes knowledge for him to know that he doesn't know anything yet. So he is Pchinas Melo. The son is Pchinas Ma. And this is how the story goes. Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yehushua, that they were traveling by boat. Rabbi Eliezer was asleep. Rabbi Yehushua was awake. Rabbi Yehushua was terrified, was shaking. Rabbi Eliezer woke up. Omaloi, Maze Yehushua, Maze. Pay attention to the words. Maze Yehushua. If you just read the pshat, Yehushua, what happened to you? Why are you so startled? Why are you so afraid? But deeper than that, you'll see, Al Pi Remez is Maze Yehushua. You give a penis Ma. Rabbi Eliezer was giving it to him. Why have you so shaken? Why are you so terrified? I saw huge illumination in the sea. Maybe you saw the eye of Leviathan. The eyes of the Leviathan is like when the sun is rising. We're not talking about whales. We're talking about Leviathan. So the story, they're traveling by ship. Rabbi Eliezer was asleep. Rabbi Yehushua was awake. Rabbi Yehushua gets startled, gets shaken. Rabbi Eliezer wakes up and he says, "What is it? What happened?" So he says, "I saw a great glow in the sea." He says, "Maybe you saw the eye of Leviathan." And gives him a puzzle. Now we're going to see how this entire Torah is embedded, is merumas in this particular story. In Navkaf Apei Shachar, the eyes of the Leviathan, it's like the eyelids of the dawn. When the dawn comes, it's like red. It's red, and it's like the sun is coming up. It's like the lids of the eye when they open up, the eyes shine. Same thing as over here.
You say Leviathan the Malchus?
Yeah, this is what we are. Ramaz Bezer Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Yehushua, the Bechina Ben Betav. Why? Rabbi Eliezer, the Bechinas Ben. Shasogo, he's Madrega, is Bechinas Ma. You realize he hasn't even started yet. It's a great asaga. Bechinas Me Chamita Ma Pishpashta. Bechinas Kiloi Reni Adam V'chai. When a person gets very close to me, he cannot see me anymore. You don't see. When is a state of not seeing? When a person is asleep. His eyes are closed. Right? Doesn't see. So we're using euphemistically pyramids, being so close, seeing that you haven't done anything yet. What have you found? You haven't started yet. Is a Bechina you realize you actually, until now, you're totally asleep. So it's called, the Shem Rebbe is euphemistically a Bechina of Sheno. Bechina ma chamishta. What have you done? You haven't done anything yet. Pines ein lo rasa Elokim zelo zcho yaseh lemechake bo. Olam habo, nobody knows what is going to be. What is the schar olam habo? Apostle says, ein lo roaso, an eye has not seen, zelo zcho Elokim, except you, Hashem, yaseh lemechake lo, that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to do, is going to grant those who wait for him. In other words, those who serve Kadosh Baruch Hu in this world, and they wait to get the schar in olam habo. Okay? Statement, very simple. Only Hashem knows. In other words, you don't know. It's Pchinas Ma, right? It's Pchinas Sheina. What does this pasuk has to do here? Ain lora so Elokim zuloscho yaseh lemchak Eloi is Rosh Teves Eliezer. This encapsulates the saga of Eliezer. Soon you'll see why the Ezer's Pchinas Ben. Zeh Pchinas Rabbi Eliezer. Ki Eliezer sheteves ein lora sa Elokim zuloscho yaseh. He is invoked in this pasuk. This is Pchinas Ben. Soon we'll see why. But it's a saga of you realize you don't know anything. Everything that you have accomplished, everything that you know, you thought until now you were a Talmud, you thought you got a belly full, you know everything. You know Gemara, you know Kabbalah, you know Allah, you know everything. But the tzaddik is shining to you such a das that you realize that you haven't even started yet. This is a saga of Ben, Mechamita Mepishpat. It's a great saga. You can only get there when suddenly a great, your das becomes so great. Until now, what do you mean? You don't know? You know halacha, you know Kabbalah, you know the kavanas, you know everything. Yeah, but the Chacham shows you such makifin, such a sagas compared to which you haven't started yet. Like the little boy that said knew everything when he came to Kita Aleph, comes to Kita Ches, doesn't know anything. But you know what you knew, probably reading better than you did. Yeah, but that's not called knowing. That's already Mechamita. This is a saga of Ben. Rabbi Yehushua is a Bchinas Talmud. Rabbi Yehushua represents the Bechina of Talmud, saga of Bchinas Melokar Askavoidoi. Yeshua, has a distance, he has a perspective. He can see. He is in the midst, he is still knowing. He still knows that he knows. He knows Gemara, he knows Allah, he knows Kabbalah, he knows he knows that there is a Bechina of beyond that. Theoretically, he knows that there is, compared to what there's still to know, I don't know anything yet. He knows it, but Tachlis L'maisa, he exists in a situation when his eyes are open. He knows what he knows. What do you tell me? I don't know. I know. Yeah, but compared to what there is to know, yeah, you're right. I believe that. I know that it exists, but I don't hold it yet. So I'm concerned, I see. I know what I learned, I know what I've learned, I know I remember, I know Allah, I know. I still don't know why all this is still called not knowing anything at all. We're not holding it yet. So this is a so-called Melokor Askevoid. The earth is filled with Hashem's covered. Everything is open, you can see. Chinas ve'eretz Hashem. This is what Yeshua said, and I saw Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu says, "V'nachnu ma." Moshe said, "We, Chinas ma, we are a what? We haven't started yet." Yeshayahu, who's much, lower than Moshe Rabbeinu, says, "Ve'eretz Hashem." I saw Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu says, "I don't know anything," and Yeshayahu says, "I know. I saw Hashem." Yeshayahu bevadainu. There's a madrega of Moshe Rabbeinu, a madrega Chinas ben, that everything that you know, everything you perceive, you haven't even started. He knows it exists, but that's not his madrega. It's theoretical by him. He knows, he saw, according to his madrega, he saw Hashem. There's a madrega that this great saga of Yeshayahu Novi is not not considered anything. So this is a saga of Dorimato. You have to wake them, and they shouldn't get despaired. Awaken and be fresh and sing Shoich Ne'afar, the dwellers of the earth. Usually we say dweller of the earth. Yes, when people already finish their days and they're already in the world to come. They're already the dwellers of the earth. They are buried. But we're using here euphemistically. These are people of Lo Madrega. They feel Kodesh Baruch Hu is far from them. I don't believe, I can't. So they need to be awakened. They need to be rejoiced. They need to be mechazek, give chizuk, that Hashem is with them. This is the madrega of Talmud. Roslaim, you have to show them kimelo kol atz kavodo. You have to show that the earth is filled with Hashem's covenant. Kodesh Baruch Hu is with you, no matter how bad you might have been, no matter how bad you have done, no matter what. Kodesh Baruch Hu is with you and He loves you, and He is intensely interested in you, and He's intensely in love with you, and He wants you. That Prince Rabbi Yehushua. Rabbi Yehushua is also here, is invoked in Rosh Hashanah. Yechayu meisecha nevresi yekumun yekitzun v'ayakimun yakumun v'akitzu v'raynu shoich ne'afar. They will awaken and will get alive and sing the dwellers of the earth. This Rosh Hashanah of Yehushua. Now you'll see another reason why Eliezer is considered Bchinas Ben, and Yehushua is Bchinas Talmud. Right now, we saw how the Torah, with the Psukim, Rabbi shows us Rosh Hashanah where Eliezer is. We see with the saga of Eliezer, Bchinas Ma. If you started yet, that no eye has seen the greatness that is going to be given to those who wait to Hashem, for Hashem. Yehushua, Rosh Hashanah, the dwellers of the earth, be awakened and brought to life. And now we see another reason. Moshe Rabbeinu Shulchinas Kocham Ador. He is the teacher and the father, as it were. Shumeir beven ubetalmid. He is shining both to the sun, the Pchinas sons, those who have high madrega, and Pchinas Talmid of a low madrega. So Mimela al Ken Hayalo Ben Shaya Shmo Eliezer. He had the son, and his son's name was Eliezer. Not only that, they say when the Kodesh Baruch Hu showed Moshe Rabbeinu, the Kodesh Baruch Hu showed Moshe Rabbeinu the all the tzaddikim of the generation, he saw Rabbi Eliezer ben Elkanos. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, may there will be a will before you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that this great Tana will be one of my offsprings. The Baruch Hu granted it to him. That's why when the Torah gives a remez, gives a hint for this, it says Moshe Rabbeinu had two children, Hashem ha'echad, Eliezer. Why is it ha'echad, the one? Shem echad Eliezer, Shem echad Gershon. What was Shem ha'echad? It was the Eliezer. Which one? It says this is a remez that Rabbi Eliezer ben Elkanos is an offspring of Moshe Rabbeinu. Rabbeinu asked for that. So B'chinas Eliezer is a remez for B'chinas Ben. Moshe Rabbeinu is a tzaddik. Ben is B'chinas Eliezer. That's why his son called Eliezer. And he also had a Talmud whose name was Yehoshua. Eliezer be Yehoshua, Ben, and Talmud. You saw the proof from Rosh Hashanah and the Psukim that talk about their own particular asaga. Ma and now you saw Moshe Rabbeinu had both a son and a Talmud. Because Moshe Rabbeinu left behind him he was a manigamiti. He was a true leader. He is had the true Rachmanis. He knows the real Rachmanis is to fill the world with people that has das amiti, which means the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And there is Olam Hazeh, there's Olam Habo, and you get the bill at the end. That both for good and for better. That's das amiti. So Moshe Rabbeinu, who is the real manig, real Rachman, the really one that had the true Rachmanis, had a son called Eliezer, and a Talmud called Yehushua. Both of them, both are sons. Eliezer ben Moshe B'chinas Rabbi Eliezer Gadol. Eliezer Gadol represents the children of Moshe Rabbeinu. As the measure says, Mabinber, Pasuk, Hashem ha'echad Eliezer. It says ha'echad ha'miyuchad, this very specific, special one. Eliezer Gadol. Moshe Rabbeinu bikesh, he asked, Rabbi Eliezer, he asked, because Baruch specifically, Rabbi Eliezer will be one of his offspring, Mitzchayim, and this is what happened. Because Rabbi Eliezer was a Gilgul, and the neshama of the Eliezer, the son of Moshe Rabbeinu. So now we know Rabbi Eliezer represents son, a soga of Mechamita, sleep. Now we haven't seen anything yet. Yehushua represents the Talmud, the low one, the one you have to show closer to the Baruch Hu. Because Baruch Hu is with you. Now we see how all this is embedded in the story. Ma'aser, already the first word already is telling you what it's all about. Because the word Ma'aser, he says there is a tale of Rabbi Yehoshua ben Eliezer, Ma'aser, because the Ma'aser in itself already has a tremendous remez in it. Because Ma'aser is made out of two words. There is Ma and Shin Ayin. Ma and Shin, that's the sheriff of anything. This is a Pchinas Makifin. The Makifin come from Oraponim. This is the saga of Ein Sof. Oraponim, the light of the Ponim. Al Pi Kabbalah, it has 370 lights coming from this. It's called Shin Ayin and Moharan. 370 lights, asogas, of Elakus, that are coming from Oraponim. Makifin, that they're supposed to come in. So you have Ma'aser is Ma, which is Logos Ma. You haven't started yet. That's the way to receive the 370 lights from Oraponim. Ma'aser is already Ma, Shin Ayin. Already includes, this is what you're yearning for. This is the source for everything. You have to be a Madrega of Ma, then you're ready to receive more from the Shin Moharan. Ma'aser Ma Shin Ayin. As it says in the Ksubin, Hayno Pchinas Makifin. This is the Makifin that we spoke about at such great length. Shem Pchinas Shin Ayin. This is the supernal lights of Oraponim. Oraponim is 370 lights. Then Pchinas Ma. So they haven't even started yet. They don't even know. When you realize, when you receive a Pchinas Ma, you realize, even here you know the entire Torah, you know that you haven't even started to know. So when you have an illumination of Shin Ayin, you're Pchinas Ma. You know you haven't even started yet. Until then, you think you know. Oh, I'm smart, I know. No problem, I understand. Ma, oh wow, Shian Horin, the Makifin come in, you realize you haven't even started yet. That's the Pchinas Kalashayu Ba'im Basfino. They were coming in the boat. I know Rabbi Eliezer Pchinas Ben V'Talmid. Where does a boat go? On the sea, right? They were sailing the Yam HaChochma, the sea of wisdom. She'ar me'alchim b'sfino. She'sham izgolim ores ha'makifin. The Yam HaChochma, this is where the lights of the makifin, this is where they get revealed. The Chochma, that the Chocham teaches the son and the Talmud, is Yam HaChochma. Eliezer, the son, Yehushua, the Talmud, Where were they? In Yam HaChochma, the Chocham reveals to them, the Tzaddik reveals to them. Yam HaChochma, Shinanu. And by the fact that he teaches them, the son he teaches the perspective of Talmud, the Talmud teaches the perspective of son. With this, his own Sechel HaMakif comes in. The Pchina Sfino. Sfino is Sofon L'Choshuv. Sfino means, Sofon L'Choshuv means it's completely hidden. It's completely concealed. When the Tzaddik reveals to son and Talmud, to the great ones and to the small ones, the new Hasogas come to him, to the Chocham. Pchinas Makifin, they come in. There's the Sfino. This is totally, we're talking about the Chochma that is, until then was even unknown to the Chocham himself. The Pchinas Makifin, Shem Sfunim V'Tmunim, these are Makifin that are cherished and closed up, they're in a safe. Tmunim called, they're totally hidden, nobody can see them. How plentiful is the goodness that you have concealed, that you have put in, treasured to those who fear you. They said, usually Al-Pipshat means these are merchant marines, right? But Schosar, we learn the Makifin is Pchinas round and round. This is the Makifin, they're called Pchinas Choschar. We said in the Ruach in the long is Pchinas Ruach Oles Choschar. Over here also the Sfina is Merames, to us a Makifin, Pchinas Choschar. V'zeh v'aya Rabbi Eliezer Yashen. Rabbi Eliezer was asleep. There's a Sog of Ma. Yehushua Neor, he was awake. The Sog of Melokas Kevoidoi. A Sog of Rabbi Eliezer Pchinas Ben. This is what Ben says. Pchinas Yesheno, Pchinas Sheno. Ein lo ros, an eye doesn't see. You're permitted because that's called sleep. You haven't even started yet. Kenasma, mechamita mevishpashta. Aval asogos Rabbi Yehushua, u'pchinas Talmid. Doremata, that's a lower one. Pchinas Neo, he was awake, he sees. That's various Hashem, and I say HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When you're in Lo Madrega, the thing that you need to say HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with you. It's only once you are old enough, when you grow up, you'll know. When you reach this high madrega, then you will know. Rabbi Eliezer is a madrega of Sheino, Pchinas Ma. Rabbi Eliezer, no, he was awake. What happened is a result of the education that they got from Tzaddik Ador. The Rabbi Yehushua rattled. He got terrified. And Rabbi Eliezer was awake. Not that the one who was asleep awoke, the one who was awake got to get rear. In Rabbi Eliezer, Pchinas Klal is Talmud. When the Ben and Talmud combined, Rabbi Eliezer until now was asleep. He didn't see anything. He needs to get the perspective of the sun. So you have Yira. If you don't know anything, you're asleep. You're asleep. Ben Talmud, you have combined son and student together. That is a Pchinas Ben, Pchinas Asoga Shel Talmud. You have to show the Ben, the perspective of Talmud. So you should have here, as we said before. Ostes. So Nina Rabbi Eliezer, Pchinas Ben, Pchinas Sheino. Now he's combined Pchinas Talmud. He's got a perspective of Talmud. Shasaga Pchinas Neo. Omalo, ma ze Yehushua. Eliezer, Pchinas Ben, Yehushua Maza, he gave Rabbi Yehushua his own Bechina of Ben, Pchinas Ma. Maza Yehushua. Rabbi Eliezer is giving Yehushua, Rabbi Eliezer and Yehushua are being combined. Yehushua is getting a Pchinas Ma. Ma Daika is a Soga of Pchinas Ben. He's giving it to Yehushua, who was Pchinas Talmud. So Pchinas Ma Kanal. That's called Ben Talmud. That when the Talmud and the Ben are, when the first asaga of Rabbi Eliezer awakened, this is when this is when the Talmud is being added to the sun. Now, Ma is giving to Rabbi Yehushua, this is when the sun is being given, the perspective of the sun being given to the student. He also has to be Pchinas Ben. Pchinas Ma. So she should have Europe, so she should be able to sustain the Europe. Ma Hashem Elokecha dorosh mimcha ki yira. When you get the Bchinas Ma, Hashem Elokecha dorosh mimcha ki yira. This is when you get yira. Ma Hashem Elokecha dorosh mimcha ki yira. Ma daika. You get the Ma, your yira can sustain. It's a nichol Bchinas Ma. You have a yira canal. Ze Ma ze Yehushua. Rabbi Eliezer bring Rabbi Yehushua to a Bchinas Soga of Ma. So Rabbi Yehushua also Dalmid will be combined in Rabbi Eliezer. We're going to continue, to at least finish this. I know this. It's a little difficult to connect everything we learned until now, what we're learning here. But if you remember what we learned, everything, the Bchinas Ma will be combined, the Makifim come in, the Talmud, being combined. All this is what we're talking about. But this is why Rabbi Eliezer asked him, why were you so shaken? Why did you get this euro? More godol reiti bayam. I saw a great glow, a great illumination in the sea. Shiro or godol bayam chochma. Suddenly he sees a great light in the sea of wisdom. Yam chochma. When he gets the bchina of ma from Rabbi Eliezer, bchinas ben, not just a Talmud, he sees a great light, something which is way beyond him. Maybe you saw the eyes of Livyasan. Livyasan is Bchinas Malchus, as you said before. Livyasan is a remez of Bchinas Malchus. Bchinas Livyasan ze yotzat hasak boi. Livyasan you have created to rejoice with him. This is actually to grind. It says the grind the parnasa. Bchinas man shchokim. Kulam alecha saberum. Everybody was looked to you. As we say, Sheshivlo, he saw Einov of his own. You saw the eyes of Livyasan. In other words, the Bchinas Malchus is gathering the bitchonis, the trust, the bitachon of all the people in the world. It goes up. We said in order for them, for the parnasa to come down, the Malchus has to come up first with bitachon. Nechol alecha yisaberu. Everybody's eyes are lifted up to you, Hashem. You come up with a bitachon, Shbochu brings you the parnasa. Malchus collects all the bitchonis, all the trusts, all the bitachon for everybody, and it goes up. It's mekabel v'yam ha'chochma, v'yam ha'parnasa. Then it comes down, then it distributes to everybody. Everybody gets the bitachon of everybody comes up to you, Hashem. And therefore the parnasa comes. Be'itor is for Yam HaChochma. Be'itor et Makifim coming in, and this goes down. And then Bchinas Yadayim Poseches Yadecha Yadam Yam HaChochma. V'ata noten l'cholam u'masbia l'chol chai rotzon. This is when it all comes down to the Malchus, and you give rotzon to everybody, you give favor to everybody, you give parnasa to everybody, you give yura to everybody. So everything is actually encapsulated in the pasuk. And everybody's eyes, everybody's trust is up to you. This is the Isarus del Tata. This is the awakening from below. Let's bring about Isarus del Elo. This is the Shefa from above. The Makifim, the Yamachochma. Everything comes down, and the Parnasa is being distributed with the Malchus. So it says, Masha Bchinas Malchus, Malakitz, Mekabes, Kol Bitchon, Shekol Ba'olam. The Malchus gathers together all the bitachon of everybody. Everybody's waiting for parnasa. Everybody was doesn't shout for parnasa. And even people that have all the money in the world also say, I need to work for parnasa. You won't be able to spend during our lifetime. Yeah, but parnasa. So yes, I need more. I need to have a swimming pool in my house. Not enough. Oh, come on. Swimming pool, I don't say Olympic swimming pool. Small pool. What's the deal? Livyasan is putting together all these bitchonis, and it gets into the sea of wisdom, coming up with all the bitchonis, with the kli, with the shefa, with the yearning to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with the bitachon, with the trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is the malchus. This Livyasan comes to Yam HaChochma to get parnasa from there. There's an Izdazah Yeshua. This is the thing that shook of Yeshua. Kinofel of Yira, because he got a great hero. Why? Because he got into Yam HaChochma. Shoshan is God B'chinas Malchus. This is the Malchus revealed itself. The Malchus comes to get the Parnasa. The B'chinas Einav Shel Yosef, the eyes of Yosef. This is why Yiro comes upon him, because the Malchus is the Mekor of Yiro. Now we're going to say how everything, all this, is encapsulated in the first pasuk, the first verb. Sentence of the Torah. No, this is the end. This is the, we're not getting to V'zeh B'chinas K'vos Moshe. It's just V'zeh Yimiketz Shnatayim Yom Parach Choylem, and then Yovel Kol Nor Nipar Nidgal Minei. That's it. Let me just see. I'm not going for more than that. Okay. We won't continue. We continue. That's Hashem. The next of it, the end of the Torah is next week. But the one thing that we need to sort of take from this is the Rebbe says in Likutey Moharan, Torah Yud Zayin, he says that the reason why people don't get parnasa immediately when they need it is because when you get parnasa, you see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is taking care of you. Okay, you have to do ishtadlus, so there's choice involved. I did it, Hashem did it, whatever it is. But the money comes in, you see. When you don't have money, where's HaKadosh Baruch Hu?
What do you say in the beginning?
Why doesn't a person get parnasa immediately when he needs it? It's Torah Zayin, Chelik
You
Beis.
just said the opposite. He does get it.
Wait. I said, Shniya.
Why doesn't the person get it when he needs it?
Torah Zayin says, why does it take so long for people to get parnasa?
But someone gives it at the right time. Everything.
Oh, but that's not what you think.
He always gives it at the right time.
But you believe it. But it's not when you see it. You know, that when you actually get the parnasa, then you see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Wow, boom. Suddenly, somewhere you didn't even think about. Suddenly, it got you from out all your problems. Suddenly, you have parnasa. You know, it's the problem of parnasa are the most common problems there are. We said it many times. When you don't have money, you have no idea where money is going to come from. Maybe he's going to give me a loan. Maybe I'll get a job. Maybe you have no idea. You're stressed out of your mind. How am I going to pay this? And what happens the minute you get the money? It's as if the problem never existed, right? When you get your money, that you are so verhitzt, you are so crazy, it's as if, yeah, it's okay, it's cool. But until now, you're crazy, you're tearing out your hair. Okay, I have the money, everything's okay. Parnasa problems are different from any other problem. All other problems, law aleinu children, law aleinu health, law aleinu whatever it is, the problem comes, it's bigger, it's smaller. Even when it goes away, there's always residue. You know, the children are really not 100% with the parnasa. You know, the health is, there's still residue, whatever. It never goes away completely. Parnasa, when you have parnasa problem, you don't have money. The minute money comes in, it's gone. It's like it never existed. The problem of parnasa. Not so?
The other problems last.
They leave imprint. Money, it comes in. The lack of money, gone. Yeah, but remember how you suffered. Forget about it. It's nothing. What? Goes out, it's finished. What happens when money comes in? Because Baruch Hu shows his face. Why does it seem like all the problems, you don't even remember the problems? So you have the Bechira. Because if you were to actually see where the money came from, remembered how desperate you are, and compared to how you feel when you were delivered, when you got your parnasa, but wow, Ribono Shel Olam, what a great miracle did with me. So what that takes away this stress that you felt before you got the money, and totally gets away with it. Ah, sure, of course I have money. What do you think? They said this joke about a lawyer that was driving to court, and he was late. He was going to appear before a judge, and this particular judge was a real stickler, a tough judge. You can't be late by him. And he's late, there was traffic jam, whatever it is, he can't see it. He can't find parking space next to the courthouse. So he lifts his eye to Kodesh Baruch Hu. He's desperate. He says, help me, please, buy for Nosa. Suddenly a car comes out. He says, okay, I got it. No need. I got the parking on my own. Who gave you the parking? Who made it so that the car came out immediately when you came looking for parking? Kodesh Baruch Hu did it. But he does it in such a way that you feel, now I have parking. I don't have the need anymore. Don't feel the stress anymore. It's gone. Everything's normal. Of course I have parking. What do you expect? Of course I have parking. I did. A famous joke. So the Rebbe says, why does a person have to go through this distressing time? What are we going to do? Just found out I have 890 shekel debt for the Vad Bait for the past years. And I knew I paid. Where am I going to get? I don't know. Where am I going to get this money from? What is it? Whatever it is. Why does a person have to go through this distress before he gets the money? And it says in Torah Zion, because when you get the money, it's the king showing you his face. And you can't see the king in all times. Rabbi says over there, because when the king wakes up in the morning, obviously he has to wash his face.
Isn't any Yeshua the king?
Yeah, but especially in Parnasa. Because Parnasa is constant. Every other need, sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. Usually, but Parnasa is every single day you have to eat. You can't say I'm hungry. What do you mean you ate yesterday? Last week you ate a ton. Don't you remember you got that indigestion, you ate so much? Yeah, but that was last week. No. Every other need is occasional. Sometimes yes, sometimes it is. Parnasa, every single day. Parnasa says that's why in Tfilah Shmoneh Esrei, you say in Mechaya Mason, he says Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, you sustain the living with great grace. Mechaya Mason, you awaken the dead, you resurrect the dead with great racham. And Nosson says, what's the shaykhs between one another? What's got to do with another? You sustain, give parnasa those who are alive, and you revive the dead. What's it got to do with it? He says, because parnasa is a constant need. A person needs every single day, and a person needs, when he is working for parnasa, it's very easy to take shortcuts. Okay, they won't feel give a little the price. I thought to sell for less. I told him for more. Remember, when you're working for parnasa, remember there's judgment to pay. There's hell to pay. Should all remember when you're looking for parnasa, when you're doing your ishtadlus, because there's oil mabo. There's yom adin gadol v'anoyim. So this is when a person gets parnasa, it's like the king is showing you his face, and you can't see the king's face at all time. The king, there's certain times, the king has to wake up, has to wash the Rebbe says over there, has to wash his face, has to wear his royal clothing, and then you can see Melech b'Yofyo. When can you see the king? When he in all his splendor, then you can see him. You can't see the king, hey, king, I need parnasa, I need time. You can't do that. You have to wait. That's why a person doesn't get parnasa immediately when he wants to. And a chinami b'di'evet, because Baruch Hu is giving you the money exactly when you need it. The more bitochen you have, the more it comes in your time. But nevertheless, this is the parnasa, this is the malchus. Because parnasa is the malchus of Kodesh Baruch Hu. So when you realize there's a need for parnasa, there's a need to be mischazik and bo betochen. Because Hashem is going to show you His face. There's so much to talk about these inyonim of potech et zadecha masber kol chai ratzon. Because ultimately, a person should always take himself half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever, every single day, to ask Kadosh Baruch Hu for whatever midah that he needs to get over. If it's kas, if it's anger, if it's whatever you need, but above everything else, daven to get rotzah. Be mischadish, you get new retzinas from Kadosh Baruch Hu. You yearn to Kadosh Baruch Hu. It's not enough. Whatever I know, it's not enough. I didn't even begin yet. When you get closer to Kadosh Baruch Hu, so you have a pchinas ma. Give me a pchinas ma. Give me a pchinas rotzah. Give me a pchinas rotzah every single day. Every single day. That's what the Rebbe wants from us. We'll call a pchinas ben, pchinas tamid together. Because Baruch Hu is always with you. Always a rachmanis in you. And you haven't even started yet. That when we come to Kadosh Baruch Hu, go come with yira, come with realize you're talking to Hashem. Realize you need rotzim, you need yira. Hashem Yazor. We should be zorach b'zat Hashem to see Binyan et Hamikdash soon. B'yas Mashiach Tzidkenu b'zat Hashem. B'zat Hashem soon. We're going to be Elul, Uman, Rosh Hashanah. That's the time where, the coronation. Hashem judges everyone. What did he judge? He says, how much did you advertise my name? How did you Megal Malchus Hashem Yisbarach? That's what Rosh Hashanah is all about. It's the judgment. What do you do throughout the year? You want parnasa? Do your job. Be Megal Malchus Hashem. Shem Yazov Azat Hashem. Kol Tuv. All right.